did.
Oh no, Migs! There's no way out! What are we gonna do?
We've come too far to let them stop us now. Those things have got to be armed.
It's no use. There's no way we can outmaneuver them. They're gonna shoot us down. We were so close.
Weapon systems on.
Locked on target. I got towed.
You were great, Eva.
Huh?
Thanks.
Bulk 19, this is Control. Stand by for a direct order from the chairman. Bulk 19, return to base immediately. Do you read me? This is a direct order from Comrade Khrushchev. Return to base immediately. Bulk 19, do you copy? Understood. Aborting mission. RTB.
Look! The Migs are turning back! Woo!
She's gonna do that thing again. The hell is that?
Well done, Snake.
The MiG's disengaged.
Most likely under orders from Khrushchev.
Is this his way of helping us?
Who knows? Maybe he didn't want things to get messier than they already are. Or maybe he just wanted us to owe him one. The important thing is, you made it out alive. As long as Khrushchev is with us, I don't think they'll be coming after you. It should be smooth sailing all the way to Alaska. I'm sending someone out to Galena Base to meet you.
To meet me?
The DCI and the President himself are waiting at Langley. Don't keep them waiting.
Can that thing make it all the way to Alaska? Alright, I'm gonna save in case I fail the cutscenes. We'd all hate for that to happen. Ta-da!
So what are you going to do now? Go back to the KGB?
What do you want me to do?
Did you ever think about coming back to America?
I can't go back. I've left America behind me.
But you saved this country.
I didn't do it alone.
And I still owe you a dinner.
Is that part of your mission too? Or is it an order? Or is it an invitation? Or a proposal? I don't take orders from anyone now.
Whatever, I'll try this thing she keeps doing. Seems to work. Quick, Snake, put on your sex camo.
Scholars tell us that the first spy in history was the snake in the book of Genesis. In that story, it was Eve who was tempted by the snake in the Garden of Eden. But this time around, it was I who tempted the snake and got away with the forbidden fruit of knowledge. Forgive me, Snake. I wasn't sent by Khrushchev. I'm not a KGB spy, and I never worked for the NSA.
I'm an agent of the People's Republic of China for the General HQ 2nd Department of the People's Liberation Army. It was all a lie. I tricked you. And I'm sorry.
The philosophers still exist in China, too. You see, my mission was to find out where Volgin was hiding the philosopher's legacy and steal it. So I infiltrated his base as a KGB spy. The two NSA codebreakers who defected in 1960 were actually both men. The real Adam never showed up at the meeting place, saving me the trouble of having to eliminate him. I sneaked in by pretending I was Eva. And you and Sokolov and Volgin, you all believed me. The philosopher's legacy was originally held in common between the US, Soviet Union, and China. We couldn't let the Russians and the Americans take it all for themselves. The Chinese government had its eye on the legacy, too. I got the film containing the legacy, and also the nuclear missile launch data from the Shagohod. 5 years ago, the Soviet Union stopped supplying us with nuclear weapons technology. Since then, China's Liaodong easing, hydrogen bomb, and space rocket projects have fallen behind. But with this data, our country will be able to develop its own nukes. We'll create a deterrent force to rival those of the US and Soviet Union. Everything has gone according to plan, thanks to your help. I too am one of the philosophers. I'm an agent of the philosophers, a graduate of one of their charm schools. I was raised in a joint US-Soviet-Chinese facility to become a sleeper agent. This was before the war. Back then, they were collecting children from all over the world. As a result, I'm indistinguishable from a native-born American. So it didn't surprise me when you and Vulcan couldn't tell the difference. But she knew right from the beginning. She knew because before the war, she was at one of the philosopher's schools too, as an instructor. The boss was the only one I couldn't fool. She was the only one who knew I was a fake. She told me everything. Why did she open her heart to me like that? At the time, I couldn't understand it. But now, I think I do. Snake. She wanted you to know the truth. She chose me to tell you. That's why she saved my life. I've lied to you so many times, but not this time. My orders from the government were to obtain the legacy. And to eliminate everyone who knew the truth about what happened. In other words, I'm supposed to kill you. But I can't do it. Not because we loved each other. And not because you saved my life. But because I made a promise to the boss. And I intend to keep it. I just wanted you to know. And you have to live. Snake, listen to me. She didn't betray the United States. No. Far from it. She was a hero who died for her country. She carried out her mission knowing full well what was going to happen. Self-sacrifice. Because that was her duty.
You are above even the boss. I hereby award you the title of Big Boss. You are a true patriot.
In the army. Someone like him to handle our top secret sneaking missions for us. A man who combines the qualities of a soldier and an agent.
The boss's defection was a ruse set up by the US government. It was all a big drama staged by Washington so they could get their hands on the philosopher's legacy. And the boss was the star of the show. They planned it so that they could get the legacy that Colonel Vulcan inherited and destroy the Shagohod at the same time. Only a legendary hero like the boss could have earned Vulcan's trust. Finding out where the philosopher's legacy was hidden was to be her greatest mission. Everything was going according to plan. But then something happened that no one could have predicted. Colonel Volgin fired an American-made nuclear warhead at Sokolov's research facility. Khrushchev demanded that the US government provide proof that it wasn't involved. They couldn't just abort the operation to steal the legacy. So the operation itself was greatly expanded and revised. The authorities in Washington knew that in order to prove its innocence, they'd have to get rid of the boss. And that one of their own would have to do the job. The public couldn't be allowed to find out about it. Not ever. This, they concluded, would be the best way to keep the whole thing under wraps. The boss wouldn't be allowed to come back home alive. And she wouldn't be allowed to kill herself. Her life would be ended by her most beloved disciple. That was the way the government wanted it. That was the mission she was given, and she had no choice but to carry it out. Her death at your hands was a duty she had to fulfill. Out of duty, she turned her back on her own comrades. A lesser woman would have been crushed by such a burden. The taint of disgrace will follow her to her grave. Future generations will revile her. In America as a despicable traitor with no sense of honor. And in Russia as a monster who unleashed a nuclear catastrophe. She will go down in official history as a war criminal. And no one will ever understand her. That was her final mission. And like a true soldier, she saw it through to the end. But I think she wanted you, of all people, to know the truth. She wanted to live on in your memory. Not as a soldier, but as a woman. But she was forbidden to tell you herself. And that's why she told me. Snake, history will never know what she did. No one will ever learn the truth. Her story, her debriefing, will endure only in your heart. Everything she did for her country. She sacrificed her life and her honor for her native land. She was a real hero. She was a true patriot.
October 15th, 1964. Khrushchev is ousted from power. The Brezhnev becomes the first secretary of Communist Party, with Kyozkin as a premier. October 16th, 1964. China conducts the first successful nuclear test. 1965. Science joint RPA. Eva disappears without a trace in Hanoi. Paramedic establishes the nation's first paramedic system. Major Zero disbands Fox in 1970. United States accommodates the remainder of the legacy of the U.S. branch philosophers and changes its name to the Patriots. 1971, carrying out the traditions of Major Zero, Fox unit, Big Boss enlists, establishes Foxhound. So, the philosopher's legacy was changed to the Patriots. 1972, the Los Infalibles Terribles project. The sons of Big Boss are born. You don't know what that means yet, but you will. I do suggest you go back and read those again, because they will be, a lot of them will be important later. This is where I usually talk about the end of the game. And wow, I love this game so much. I love this entire saga so much. If you enjoyed this game, or this Let's Play, the story in this game, then you're in for one hell of a trip if you've never seen the other ones, because this is really the prologue, the beginning, what started it all. And there's 3 more games to go. I mean, there's a lot of like games on the PSP that I guess continue the story of Big Boss, but I don't have the ability to play them, so we'll just skip them. They're not important to know. But like I said, if you enjoyed the story of this, and I love the story of this, I thought it was fantastic. Was it realistic? No, of course not. You have to suspend your disbelief quite a bit. But that's not what the story is about. The story is not about realism. It's about the emotions it invokes, the characters, the character development, like how Snake, eventually Big Boss, was able to finally defeat the boss. Some people were like, well, how did he get so good all of a sudden? I think that it's probably a different thing. It's more that he always had the skill, he just didn't have the will. And throughout the game, you notice that he got better and better at fighting the boss until he eventually had the will to carry it out. I also like how they did Ocelot, where he starts off, I call him Derpy. He starts off so horrible and steadily progresses throughout the game to get better and better and better. And Ocelot is a major character through the rest of the story, so that's good. It's good to see how his origins come about. I don't want to spoil anything for the rest of the stories, for the rest of the games, because they are great. But if you liked this, this is what you're in for. All the other games have stories of this caliber. I think this is probably one of my favorites, but they're all really, really good. And this is the last story that you play as Big Boss. The other games you play as someone else. And I'm going to talk through the whole credits, or at least, well, show the whole credits, because there is something at the end of them. There always is something at the end of every game. But one thing I can promise you, if you stick with it, this Let's Play through all 3 games, the thing that these stories do so well is they give you a real ending. They answer all your questions. By the end of the 4th game, everything will be answered. All the questions raised in this one. The philosophers. Who are the philosophers? Where did the philosopher's legacy go? What happens to Big Boss? What happened to Eva? All these things. Major Zero. What happens to him? Etc. Etc. What happens to Ocelot? All of these things are answered. It may take a while. You may not learn these things till, say, the 4th game, but every game builds upon the story and the mythos. And one thing I thought was brilliant was that even though this was the 3rd game actually made, they did such a good job of making it a prequel that if you play it the way I'm playing it, every story builds upon the one before it, and really enhances the whole thing until you get to the 4th one, and the 4th one is just this great finale. So if you enjoyed the story, stick around for the other games, because they are really fantastic. Now, one thing that'll be funny is that the Metal Gear Solid 2, the actual gameplay mechanics won't be as advanced as what we just finished, because, like I said, this was the 3rd game made. But the stories are just as good, and the gameplay mechanics are still really fun. But before we get to Metal Gear Solid, we've got 2 smaller games to do. I forgot about those, so really there's 5 games left. There's Metal Gear and Metal Gear 2, which were on the MSX system, the old 8-bit Japanese. It was a version of Nintendo. I've already done the playthrough of the first one, Metal Gear, with Durangel, because since they're older games, I kind of wanted a co-commentator, and I'm going to be doing the second one with Piff Zero. I've already finished, put the first one in the can, because when I first decided to do this, I did not think I was going to be able to do Snake Eater, and so I just started with that one. And so that one's already been done for weeks and weeks and weeks, and I'm going to upload it immediately after this one. As far as story goes, not a whole lot of story in it. It's only 5 hours long, but it's still really fun to watch, because that game's a trip. And trust me, you want to watch that game, never play it. It's I don't want to spoil it, but it's still worth the... If you want to have a good time and a good laugh, watch the Metal Gear the Metal Gear game. A Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake. I have never played that game, and I've heard it is a lot better. It's like it's what started it. Metal Gear 2 Solid Snake is what started everything to where they really started getting into story and getting into the storyline. But I haven't played it. I'm playing it next, so that one should be fun, even though it'll be an older game. And then it'll be Metal Gear Solid, which is one of my favorites and one of the first one I ever played. And then Metal Gear Solid 2, which a lot of people don't think is as good. The story, I will admit, is very confusing, but don't worry, I'll be here to guide you all through it. And then Metal Gear Solid 4, which is, I don't remember a whole lot about it, because it's been forever since I played it, but it is such a fantastic game. I never played it, I watched it. I watched it on YouTube, kind of like you're watching this. So I'm really excited to actually get to play it. Yeah, so, I hope you enjoyed this game. I hope you really enjoy the rest of this saga. I plan on doing all of it. We still have a long way to go, folks. And I'm really excited about that. This really got me pumped up to play the rest of this. And I hope you guys join me for the ride. I'm sorry, it definitely wasn't the sneakiest or best run-through of this game ever. But, you know what? What other Let's Play gives you Kabuki Crocodile Killer? None, I guarantee you. Alright, hang on. There's some stuff at the end.
Yes, Grozny Grad and the Granin Research Facility have both been wiped out without a trace. I understand, sir, but they were necessary sacrifices. Yes, the CIA has taken care of the boss themselves. I believe the White House will be satisfied. Khrushchev is finished. Your time has finally arrived. Yes, the American president is relying on us to keep a lid on the whole affair. We've got him by the balls. It should make a valuable trump card in future negotiations. Yes, Chief Director, of course. I'll keep the KGB informed.
This, by the way, is the voice of Ocelot, if you hadn't figured that out.
Yes, it's me. The boss has accomplished her mission. The philosopher's legacy is now safely with us, in America's hands. With this money, yes, the philosophers can finally be revived. The film we handed the Chinese was a fake. Peking must be in an uproar right about now. I'm afraid so. Only half the money has made it back to the United States. The KGB must still have part of the legacy. Yes, the weapon has been reduced to ashes. That's right. Grozny Grad has been obliterated by the Davy Crockett we brought in as well. Yes, that was the boss's work too. Speaking of which, I've obtained something from Granin that you might find interesting. It's a revolutionary new nuclear attack system. Perhaps it might just come in handy someday. Yes, we have Snake to thank for that. Khrushchev believed it as well. Yes, they bought our story. I don't think they'll be making a fuss. The secondary alert has been lifted as well. And the Soviets still haven't discovered my true identity. They have no idea that I've been triple-crossing them. I will continue my activities as a contact for the new government. Yes, it appears that no one knew that I was Adam.
Dun dun dun.
Of course. I'm always at the CIA's disposal, Mr. Director.
Layers upon layers upon layers. So, when the boss fired the last Davy Crockett, she blew up Groznygrad with it. Huh? So that's where the last Davy Crockett went. And Ocelot was Adam the whole time, and he's been triple-crossing everyone, working as an agent for the philosophers. Craziness! Like I said, though, it'll all be explained by the end. I saved 19 times, continued 66 times, alert phase 140 times, killed 350 people! Woo! Seriously injured 159 times, total damage 42 life bars. Life medicine used 10 times. Plants and animals killed, captured 21. Meals eaten 71. Special item not used. Your title is Shark. I don't even know what that means, but okay. New item obtained. Single action army. The Patriot. The camera. Brown face paint. National flag face paints. Tuxedo. Uscam desert camo. Desert tiger camo. Fleckton camo. That's it. Alright, we'll save the game. This is all stuff basically you can use if you want to replay the game. You can use the new gun, you can use the camo the boss gave you can use all that stuff you just got. If you manage to get through the entire game with no alert phases whatsoever, or if you shoot all the green frogs, you get stealth camo, like what the Fear had. And there's a bunch of other stuff you can get, which we won't be really playing here because, hey, this is the end of the LP. On to bigger and better things, right? See you guys there.